Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the K&K Sports Show. June 4th, 2025. 1 month away from 4th of July, guys. We're getting into summer. Uh, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals. Hey, us Knicks fans, we're not too happy. We had a little disappointing end to our season, but, some news. Carson's going to break it down in a little while. But like I said, Stanley Cup Finals are here, and we got our guy up in Canada backstage. Graham, Canada versus the USA. How you doing?
Doing good, and I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Definitely.
Rematch of last year's Stanley Cup should be a good one. I'm going to go to the guy below me. I got Carson with us tonight. How we doing, Carson?
What's up, guys? I'm doing all right. Hopefully, you guys are all doing great. Looking forward to talk about sports tonight. Like I said, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup, and good to see all you guys.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least right now, Mr. Valenti, I think, should be joining us. He might still be in denial with the Knicks losing. I don't know. But Paul Rosen, he's wearing his New York Knicks jersey. He's still in
gotta
good
represent.
spirits.
What the hell? Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Graham. And I just want to say, listen, the better half of our marriage, Luby, just gave me a steaming hot Patrick French roast vanilla coffee. So I just want to shout out to Patrick. Thank you, my love, and appreciate that. Thank you. And
Absolutely.
yeah, we'll talk about. Listen, a lot of sad Knick fans, but hey, life goes on, and we'll get to it.
Absolutely. And we're getting ready to get started, but I think, nope, there he is. I didn't know if he was going to come on tonight.
I'm on.
He says he had a fired up show on Monday.
Finally.
Yes, I did.
Kurt Valenti's here. So, Kurt, I'm going to pass it back to you. We had our intros. You get your intro, and then we'll get the show started.
Yeah. Opening statement. What a past couple days for myself as a sports fan. We'll get probably into. I know Carson's got some questions, but disgusted, disappointed, and you know what? Just the fact of not mad, just the fact that as Knick fans, we're going to look back at this and say, what's Katy Perry's song? The one that got away, right? And we have a lot of people to blame, and we're going to get into that. I'm to blame. Paul Rosen's to blame. Kenny Kirkpatrick's to blame. Tom Thibodeau's to blame. Carl Anthony Towns is to blame.
Thank you.
Jalen Brunson is to. We're all to blame, and we'll get into that when we get into talk about
I'll
it.
take my shirt off. What the hell?
We are. You know what? We're all to blame, and I'll explain why. And that has to change instantly, because if it doesn't, things what happened on Saturday night and in this last 10 days of a series is going to continue to happen to this organization and to this team, and we're not going to get the goal that we want. So there's a lot of blame, and you know what? When there's failures, when things don't get executed right, when things shouldn't be how they are, there's consequences. And we saw one yesterday, and I stand by it. We'll get into it again. But other than that, I'm pretty damn good.
All right. And Kurt, one guy I know you would absolutely get along with 100% is Ernie Mays out there in California. Our good friend Ernie Mays. What's up, Ernie? Good to see you. Go Broncos country only. Go Nuggets, Rockies, Avalanche. Mm-hmm. And that's your guy, Kurt, because that's the way that's your mentality now. It's your teams or nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Hey, the Rockies are hot 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Go.
So, all right, Kurt, guys, let's get the show started. Paul's been doing a great job with quick hitters, so we're going to pass it off to Paul for quick hitters again tonight, guys.
Thanks, Kenny. So Kurt's preamble actually goes right into my first question. So Spike Lee said, I would give up an Academy Award, an Oscar, for the Knicks to win an NBA championship. So, Kurt, either one of your two teams, either one of the Knicks or any of the other teams that you root for, what would you give up to win a championship? And Carson, of course, what would you give up to win a championship by one of your teams? So let's start with Kenny. And which
I don't have too much Knicks
team?
stuff, so I couldn't give up too much Knicks stuff. And Paul gave me a lot of nice Giants stuff, so I can't give any of that stuff away. Sorry. So you know what? Knicks aren't worth giving up right now. Anything. So you know what? I'm not giving up anything. Sorry. That's how I feel. They making the millions, not me. I'm not giving up my expensive merchandise to see them win. So that's my mentality. Sorry, you guys can agree, disagree. I'm not giving up anything.
All right, Carson. Detroit's been in need of a championship for a long time. What would Carson Shear give up?
Wow, that's a good question. Man, maybe like a year's worth of chocolate. I can't have chocolate for a year, like a realistic comp, I would say. So Lions
Nice.
Super Bowl, yeah, I'll take a year off chocolate.
Okay,
Patrick's
that's fair enough. And last but certainly,
I'm definitely not giving up
Hey,
Lion coffee
Patrick.
for a Knicks championship, Patrick.
here, Patrick, I'm drinking Lion coffee. What would Mr. Nick give up?
Can't hear you, Kurt.
I'm going to go like Carson, but I'm going to up the ante because people know I'm very picky. You know what? This is something I want to see. It's the only team I haven't seen. I mean, I never seen St. John's win a national championship. I did see them go to the Final Four, but pizza for a year, chocolate for a year, crumb cake for a year.
Wow.
French fries.
He's throwing it all in.
I'm all just that's how much I want to see a Knicks championship, guys.
He's pushing everything to the middle of the table, a la Jim Fossil.
The reason why I couldn't give up anything is because I know I would cheat, and then the Knicks would be cursed for forever because I cheated on it.
All right.
So I can't give up anything because I know I'll cheat.
It would be you, Kenny, to curse them. All right, next question. You're starting a Major League Baseball team. Ohtani or Judge? Carson?
Ohtani for sure.
Bert?
Ohtani with Juan Soto second.
Okay. Kenny?
Ohtani, definitely not Juan Soto second. I'm doing like Paul Skeens on a brand new team. Give me the pitchers. Let's go.
Going to say, how about Paul Skeens as a third alternative?
Yeah. Let me get some comments, Paul. Michael Ronquillo, everybody's friend.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening, Kurt, Kenny, Carson, and Paul. And Ernie Mays is going to give up coffee forever for a Broncos Super Bowl win, Kurt. Kurt would give up coffee forever, too, because he don't drink it.
I don't drink it.
Any more? Any others?
That's it. Back to you.
That's it. Okay. March Madness.
Yep.
Looking to expand to either 72 or 76 teams next year. Like it, dislike it, good or bad for the tournament. Kurt?
I don't like it. I think it's going to sound crazy, and I've said this to Jen on a couple occasions. If you're going to do it, just put everybody in or leave it the way it is. It's just, I think it's watered down the way it is now. Conference tournaments won't mean anything. So I'm going to say
Kenny?
leave it. Don't expand.
Kenny? Oh,
yeah,
Kenny?
I don't want to expand neither, Paul. I like it the way it is. Right now, there's even a lot. I'd rather see it the 64. I don't want to see those play-in games. I'd rather see it 64 and go back to that.
Carson, are you sweep?
Yeah, I'm sweeping the board here. If they were to expand it, maybe make, just the 4 number 1 seeds get a first round bye. So they automatically make the round of 32. If you're going to put more teams in that way, make more other teams play in the round of 64. So that'd be the only change I would see with it. But I think, like you guys are saying, 64 is more than enough.
Couple comments. Ernie doesn't like coffee neither. Michael's saying the Broncos are bringing in J.K. Dobbins tonight.
Tonight,
Kurt,
yes,
taking him out
sir.
to
Yep.
dinner.
I like it a lot.
And Ernie wants to leave it the way it is.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't read any other particulars of that expansion, but I guess if they do decide to do something else, they would come out and let us know. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, next question. Good old Boomer Esiason is at it again. Kurt, are now the most hated fans in any major sport, even more than Philadelphia fans. Kenny, do you agree or disagree?
The Eagle fans are by far, and I don't mean this because I'm a Giants fan, but just look at the Eagle fans, what they do to other fan bases when they're at games. You can't wear a jersey to the game because you're going to get beat up. That's by far the worst fan base, not the Knicks. Then how could you say the Knicks are the worst fan base?
Yeah. I will just jump in and just say this. I've had friends whose wives or girlfriends have gone to Giant Eagle games, and the women were harassed by the Eagle women fans in the bathrooms. That's how bad it is. So, Kurt?
You know what? I said this on the Knicks show, Kenny, the other night. I agree with it, and I love it. I love it because you know what it is? It's the jealousy thing. And I know, we haven't won. You're right. But you know what? Like, the Knicks are their own special animal. You know, it's just, you're the New York Knicks. You're in the Garden. And you know what? Like, yeah, like that's how that crowd does get it. It's because the love and the affection. And, you know, we're going to get into this. It's the hatred for other people, like the hatred of teams. So, yeah, I agree with them. And you know what? I love it. Hate us. Let's go. I love it.
Okay. Carson?
Shouldn't have thrown that trash bag at that Pacers fan, huh, boys? Yeah, you know, I think it's the Eagles. Like I said, they were throwing snowballs at Santa Claus. They burn anything down regardless. Like Kenny was saying, you saw what happened when they won the Super Bowl, win or lose. So, no, I wouldn't say that they're up there. I think there's way more worse fan bases than the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, going to Giant Eagle games were the worst. I would go even to Cowboy Giant games before I'd go to Eagle Giant games because they were so close. Fans would buy the tickets, especially if there was a night game. It was a horrible experience, especially being at home. And if the Giants were bad, forget it. It would be taken over by Eagle fans. All right, baseball question. Buyer or seller? We're a little more than a third of the way through the baseball season, but there's still some teams that are sort of on the bubble. A few times, I'll give you a team. Tell me if you think they should be a buyer or a seller, and I'll even give you what place they're in and games behind. Kurt, the Diamondbacks are in fourth in the West, in the National League West, 7.5 back. Should they be a buyer or a seller?
I say a seller. I think the National League is so good. I mean, they're definitely they're behind the Dodgers and the Padres. They're not better than those teams. I think the avenue, I mean, the NL East is so good with the Mets, the Braves, and obviously the Phillies. I don't see an avenue for them to get in. I really don't. I'm going to say seller.
Okay. Carson, the Brewers, they are in third place now, 5.5 back.
Brewers, now I think they're going to stay put. I can't really see them make any big signings. So I think they rock it out with the young core still.
Okay. Kenny, you've been on the Rangers bandwagon. The Rangers, they're in fourth, 5.5 back.
Only 5.5 back. That's one division, I think, that's wide open. Go buy. DeGrom's having a nice year. Get another pitcher, maybe a bat, be a buyer.
Okay. Kurt, back to you. Keith's Angels of Anaheim. They are in fourth place, 5.5 back.
You know, somebody was talking about it today on the radio. I think it's time with Trout now. I mean, again, like Kenny's been saying, the American League is not even good, and they're already 5 games back. You got the Astros there, you got the Rangers there. Just get what you could do for Trout and just reset. I mean, the guy's never been in the postseason, right? Like, just reset.
Yeah.
Just reset. You know what? He's someone that you're going to get a lot for. Again, I'm not for, trading the guy, but it's just, I don't know. They haven't won with him. You can't see him winning. So like, that's an organization. Go and do it.
Okay. Carson, the Cardinals are in second, but they're 5 back, and the Cubs have been playing lights out so far this season.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals, they can make some damage in the postseason. If they keep up with their pace, they can be a legit wild card team. So I think they'll be buyers.
Okay. Let's go back to the American League East. Kenny, Red Sox are in fourth, 9.5.
Yes, and after that, Paul, let me give you one from the audience. Red Sox, how many are they back of the Yankees? I'm sorry.
9.5.
I think they stay put. Maybe they make a small move. I think they might sell, to be honest with you. Devers might be a name people might be looking at the trade deadline. If they fall double digits back by the deadline, watch out. Rafael Devers going to a contender.
Yeah, he has a big contract, but hey, some team might be willing to take it on.
Our
All right,
good
one
friend
more round.
Glenn
Royals.
Ashley. Hold on, I got one for you.
Okay.
Our good friend Glenn Ashley from Australia. Good morning, Kenny, Paul, Kurt, and Carson. He's a Giants fan.
Hey,
San
Glenn.
Francisco Giants.
Glenn.
He's saying his Giants are definitely buyers. We need one bat to give the necessary run support. Agree or disagree, Paul?
Yeah, I totally agree. And Glenn, just got to tell you, one of my favorite Mets of all time, Wilmer Flores, is having an incredible season. I would love to see him make the All-Star team somehow. He's been fantastic for you guys. So I think definitely be buyers. They are going to be in it right to the end of the season, and I think they will make the playoffs.
Go one more round, Paul, so we can get everything else in tonight.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the time.
Exactly. Kurt, Royals are in fourth, 7.5 behind the Tigers.
I'm a buyer because again, I just you saw the little run they made last year to the ALCS. And again, I don't believe there's a lot of good teams in the American League. I don't. If you get into the postseason with them, you buy a little bit. Who can't you beat? I mean, I think they could beat the Tigers. I think they could beat the Yankees. I think they could beat the Astros. I'm not going to say they are, but I mean, I'm not going to definitely say that they can't. So they've been there, done that. They've had a little postseason run. I'm going to say buyers.
Okay. They just brought up their number one prospect, Joe. I think it's Castiglione or something like that. Big power hitter. So we'll see what happens with them. Carson, the Braves, which is the biggest shock in the baseball to me this year. Fourth place, 10 games behind the Mets.
I think they stay put only because they have already won a ring in the past couple of years. Acuna just got back. You don't want to go too crazy. So I think they stay put. I don't think they're buyers just because of the lack of injuries they've had this year.
Okay, and last one, Kenny, again, go back to the AL East. The Blue Jays are in third, 6.5 behind the Yankees.
That's a team that should buy. It's now or never for them with Guerrero and Bichette and their pitching. So I could see them being a buyer to try and get to the wild card or maybe make a run at the Yankees. I'm going to go buyers on the Blue Jays.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Great. Glenn, awesome job, Paul. Glenn was saying
Thank
Buster
you.
Posey, their GM, has started making moves. He was brought in for this reason. Watch for him to sign a big bat.
Nice.
Again, a San Francisco Giant fan there. All right, let's move along. We got some finals, and we're going to start with the NBA finals, Carson's Corner. I don't know if Kurt wants to be here for this segment, but we're going to tough it out, the three of us, Carson. But we'll do our best to keep it calm.
For sure. Yeah, no, we got the NBA Finals matchup, Thunder and Pacers. This is two teams that one of them's going to win their first ever title. So as a sports fan, I do like that factor because you had the Warriors, the LeBron teams of the years past, where it's kind of the same squad and the same players winning it over and over and over again. So it is nice and refreshing to see a new team actually win for once. So I am happy about that as a basketball fan. But I'm going to ask you guys a couple questions about the NBA Finals, and then we'll get into some little Knicks talk here. The Oklahoma City Thunder, guys, they're minus 750. And in case you guys don't know what that means, basically, if you bet $750 on the Thunder, you would win $100 profit. That is a big, big, heavy favorite for a team. Yes, they have the MVP winner, but it is the NBA Finals, and the Pacers, they did earn their right to go there. Do you guys think that is a justifiable market that Vegas is saying, yep, the Thunder, no question, Pacers not even going to make it interesting, Thunder going to run away with it? Is that a fair statement that the sports books are putting out? Kenny?
I get, when they put odds up that big, they're begging for you to take the Pacers. I mean, but I'm going to try and be biased here as much as possible, but I don't think there's a reason why the Pacers were the 4 seed in the East. The Knicks, more talent. Pacers outcoached them. They beat us. Celtics were better than the Pacers. They didn't face them. Cavaliers were better than the Pacers. Pistons are probably better than the Pacers talent-wise. Hats off to the Pacers, coach-wise. They got there. I'm going to be biased. I think 700's a little too much. I would have maybe went in like the 450, 500 range. But 700's a lot, so they must know something, and there must be a lot of money going on in Oklahoma City.
Kurt, is that justified, minus 750 for the Thunder?
I'll be quick. I'm going to be very nice until Nick talks. So, yes, absolutely. Why? Because, like Kenny just said, I mean, listen, this is one of the worst teams to make the finals. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear about this bench anymore. And, oh, my God, because I play 12 guys don't mean I have a great bench. I mean, I could play 12 guys too. It's production off the bench. And when the Knicks use their bench, it shut down their bench. So, you just got to play the bench. So no, I think this is, I know I said Knicks in 5 and it's embarrassing. It wasn't, and we got beat, but this is going to be 5. If it's 5, I think this is going to just be easy. You're going to see a team play defense, OKC's defense. So I think the minus 750, I mean, people like millionaires, just throw it on there. This is just robbing. Yes, absolutely.
Paul, is that justified for the Thunder in the finals?
The Thunder had the best record in the NBA this year. They almost cakewalked through the West to get to the finals. That being said, and I did pick them when we had our predictions to go to the finals, I saw something in the Pacers, and I hate to say this, Kurt and Kenny, but this Pacer team, you may not like what I'm about to say, they hustle their asses off. There's just something that they just seem to have, that spark. You may disagree with me. I just see very good, hard-nosed players, good athletes. They just seem to come up with every goddamn, loose ball. And I think they're going to give the Thunder a very good series at this point.
Comment from Michael, given his prediction, Carson. Oklahoma City's going to win in 5 games in the NBA Finals. They win 4, and Indiana only wins 1.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it is kind of a crazy betting market, but I would be shocked if the Pacers beat SGA and that Thunder team in the finals. So like I said, maybe they might get 1 game at home, but I think Vegas is onto something, and I don't blame them. NBA Finals MVP, guys, in this series, does anybody else want to say somebody besides SGA, or are you going with somebody else not named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Are we all in agreement with that? Does somebody want to disagree with me there?
I'm going to go different. I'm going to go a little different. I'll tell you why. You looked at Karl Anthony Towns, and I know Karl Anthony Towns is an all-NBA player and stuff like that, but I mean, the Indiana Pacers just had nobody at all to guard him. Nobody. And he could have scored at will, but listen, he didn't get the job done. And again, we'll get into that in a little Nick talk. But I'm gonna go Chet Holmgren. You know, I think that I will give Carlisle this. He will come up with a plan to, you know, I mean, when people say the Pacers stopped Brunson, I mean, he still averaged like, almost 30 points per game. So did they stop him? No. But I think they are going to try to take him away. And I think that they have nothing, like Mitchell Robinson's just destroyed them on the offensive boards. So I'm going to go Chet Holmgren. I'm going to take a shot with that. I don't know what his odds are, but that would be my shot.
Fair enough. Paul, did you have somebody else?
I'm torn between two guys. On the wins, I can see Jalen Williams winning because I think they're going to have such a strong defense or try to stop SGA that Jalen may step up and be that second scorer that they really, really need. So I'm going to predict him.
Gotcha. Kenny, did you have another person in mind, or are you going with SGA?
I actually was on board with Kurt, but I like Jalen Williams too, so I may put a couple dollars on both of them. Just because, your Pacers' so-called stars probably going to be on SGA, so star versus star. But Chet Holmgren, after Miles Turner, if you get Miles Turner into some foul trouble, Chet Holmgren might be eating up this Pacers defense. So I like Chet Holmgren in this as well. Our good friend Keith Brugman, Denver Bronco Roundup, catching us. He's saying, glad to catch y'all, gentlemen. What's up, Keith? How we doing?
Yeah, so give me a prediction, guys, in the NBA Finals. Who wins how many games? Rapid fire, and then we'll get into Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks. Kurt, who wins how many games?
OKC 5.
Kenny?
I'm with Kurt. I'm going to go 5.
Paul?
Thunder in 7.
Wow, Thunder in 7. I like it. Yeah, I'm going to go Thunder in 5 as well. I think the Pacers get one. All right, guys, I'm going to do it to you. The 3 Knicks fans on this panel. The Pacers did advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, and yesterday they made a move at head coach. Tom Thibodeau has been relieved of his duties, so he is no longer your guys' head coach. He did take you guys to, I think, your first Eastern Conference Finals in like 25 years, but he did lose to the Pacers in back-to-back seasons. And I'm going to say this from a guy who isn't a Knicks fan. The only reason why Tom Thibodeau, in my opinion, is fired is because you guys lost to the Indiana Pacers. Because the series before this, I was talking to a bunch of Knicks fans. You guys are kind of on the fence. Boston Celtics, New York Knicks, the fully healthy Celtics team is more talented. Tatum went down with that injury. The Knicks shocked everybody. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. If you guys would have lost to the Boston Celtics in like Game 6 or Game 7, hypothetically, I don't think Thibodeau is gone. I think the only reason why he's fired is because he lost to the same team twice back-to-back years. So what are your thoughts on Tom Thibodeau? Was this a justified move? And give me a prediction, guys, on who you guys want and who you think will be the next head coach of the New York Knicks. Kenny.
A lot of people upset Thibodeau's gone. Not me. I think the Knicks had to make this move. It was a game in the playoffs, Carson and guys, against the Celtics. We were up 30, and Thibodeau still has the starters in with 4 minutes left in the game. You want to burn your starters out, they're going to wear out just like any other human being on the face of earth. So he keeps his starters in too long. He finally got added at a little bit at the end of the Pacers series with Shamet and Wright coming in. But I think the move had to be made, Carson. I'm glad it was made. I'll give you who I think it's going to be and who I want it to be. I want it to be Jay Wright. One with Brunson, one with Hart, one with Bridges. Bring him back to New York. I think he'll be able to coach Karl Anthony Towns and produce some offense. But I think it's going to be Johnny Bryant.
Nice. Paul, what are your thoughts on Thibodeau? Was this justified, and who would you like to see as your next head coach?
Yeah, listen, Was it a shock to a lot of people? Absolutely. No one expected it. But was it a shock? The answer is no. As Kurt said earlier in the show, it's a final, what have you done for me lately? And if you don't get the job done, especially after they build around changing the team to get the pieces in place, you wind up the easiest person to get rid of is the coach or head coach. We've seen it all the time in any major sport. So while it was initially shocking and surprising, especially around the NBA, ultimately it wasn't. So I've seen the list. I see the list that Kenny posted. I've read a million different articles, and I'm going to shock you when I tell you, in my best Dickie Vitale voice. So, guys, the Mecca, MSG, big city, big ball team, the New York Knickerbockers, they need a coach that can come in now and lead them to the championship. And listen, there's a lot of people that I know in New York. When I sit down at Raoul's and eat that Italian spaghetti sauce, and I think I'm going to have to talk to James Dolan, and he's going to have to produce the money. And when I say this, Kurt, listen, I'm going to rob from St. Peter and give to St. Paul, but I'm going to shock you guys. There's only one guy that can coach this team. He's coached in college now. He's coached in the NBA, and whatever it takes of James Dolan's money, I want them, one guy and one guy only. I want them to get Rick Pitino to coach the New York Knickerbockers, bring him to Madison Square Garden and coach that, and have that paisano coach the Knicks to the NBA championship.
Nice. Love it. Mr. Kurt Valenti, how you feel about Tom Thibodeau and who you think is going to be your next head coach?
Well, this is where I need 2 minutes because I've been good all night, short with my answers, so I need 2 minutes. First off, I want to break a little news to you guys tonight, including Graham, Carson, Kenny, and Paul. I kind of explained it to Kenny already, but I want it because not only am I going to break news, I'm going to give an opening and I'm actually going to give you guys an invitation tonight. Okay. So here's first and foremost, you guys know I love you. We're all family. Graham, your family, Carson, your family, Paul, your family, Kenny. I mean, we've been family since we've been 4. But next year, Jen and I have it's going to be our 7th year of anniversary. So all we ever hear was we obviously got married. I believe now it's going to be 7 years in August. And a lot of people say, your wedding was so good. When are you guys going to do another wedding? So I said to Jen, we always go away for like our anniversary. Like we're going to like somewhere in Delaware Beach this August. I said, let's do this. Next year, we have a beautiful clubhouse by us. We're finally able to use it. I said, Jen, we're going to rent it out and we're going to bring everybody back who was at our wedding. But we're going to bring new guests. Graham, you're invited. Carson, you're invited. The Rosens, you're invited. Kenny, you're invited because you were there.
Nice.
So that's how much I love you guys. So don't take anything I say
Thank you.
in a different way. But going back real quick, why did I say we're all at fault? We're all at fault. And I need a minute because you see the scumbag Halliburton, choke sign, TJ McConnell, flexing. That's all. That's on all of us. We got trolled. Halliburton's girlfriend tweeting, Miles Turner tweeting, and we deserve it. We all deserve it. So why is it our fault? It's my fault. It's Kenny's fault. It's Paul's fault. Why? We want the Pistons to have a good series. Because when it came down to it, let me ask you something. Is anybody getting Halliburton's face? All I hear is Kenny saying, why weren't they in their face? Why weren't you bashing the Pistons? Why wasn't I bashing the Pistons? We're all soft. That shit's over. You will never, ever, ever. I said this on 2 nights ago. You will never hear me in a group text. You will never hear me on this show Good luck, Giants. Listen, I give two shits about the Giants. I don't care. You guys stink. I need you versus Kansas City. I'm going to use you. I need you versus the AFC West. But other than that, I don't care. Lions, I don't care. Eagles, Scoops, you got a trophy now. But I don't care that you're on the show. I don't care. Back to basketball. Pistons, don't care. Who does Keith like? Who does Keith like? The Lakers? Is he a Laker fan?
He might be
I
a
don't
Laker
care.
fan.
I
No,
don't care.
the Nuggets.
Nuggets. Like all the Denver guys. And they're my guys. They're with me now. I don't care about the Nuggets. I hope Jokic gets traded. I don't care. That's the attitude we got to have. Because what happens is you get trolled by an Indiana Pacer team like that. Why? Because look at our guys. Nobody stepped up. When those guys were banging Towns and banging Brunson and banging those people, anybody get in their face? When they did it a little versus the Pistons, when they were we had to have a 40-year-old guy, PJ Tucker, do it when Dennis Schroeder stood over there. If that was in the 90s, listen, if that was in the 90s, Schroeder would be out for this series and Halliburton would never play in the Garden again. But we allowed it. We allow it on the show. We allow it as fans. We allow it as organizations. Oh, let's hug. Oh, well, whatever. Hug. We congratulate after. You see, Andrew, what's his name? Neimark just pounding Brunson. That should have been, somebody should have set a pick on him and said, you do it again to our captain like that, there's going to be a problem. Don't do it. We never did it. Halliburton with the choke sign. He should have been that. I don't care who it was. Lose game one. That he should have been done for 2 or 3 games out with some kind of separated shoulder for doing it. We didn't do it. So it's on. And why? Good luck with the Pistons. Good luck with the Denver Nuggets. That shit's over. You will never hear me say it. I'm back to young Kurt with that shit. That's how I was raised. That's how I was coached. That's how I coached. And you know what? That's how sports is. It's not about personal. It's not. Me and Graham right now, we're Broncos. Let's go. We're on the opposite sides on basketball. That's fine. That's fine. I don't want luck. I don't want people. Good luck, Broncos. Nope. Don't want it. Why? Because Giants, and Graham's going to love this. When we play you guys, I want to bury the Giants. I want to bury them. Bury them. I'm going to root for you versus KC, but I'm going to bury them. Lions, I don't want you guys to be good. Why? Because you're a threat. The Giants aren't a threat. You're a threat. We're a Super Bowl contender. You're a threat. I don't want you to be good. That's just the way it rolls. That's sports. So the whole organization, Knicks, it's New York versus everyone. I'm buying the shirt. I saw it today. I'm going to buy one maybe for you, Kenny. New York versus everyone. Everyone that's in our way, get out. Get out. So that's my rant of the night. So getting back to Thibodeau, he should be fired. I stand behind it. Has he done a great job? Yeah, he has. He's done a great job because we were a laughing stock when we hired him 5 years ago. Laughing stock. And you know what? He got us to 4 playoffs, 3 second round appearances. I think we won 4 or 5. No, what did we win? 7 series with him? I think 7 series. But you know what? Mm-hmm. This isn't about second series. He got out coached against Eric Spoelstra 3 years ago. Last year was you want to, we were injured, got you to 7 games. This, though, there's no excuse. There's man for man, position by position. There's nobody on the Indiana Pacers that are better than the New York Knicks. Now, are the players excused from that? No. Jalen Brunson, you can't let Andrew I can't even say his name, Neimark, whatever, guard you in game 6. Karl Anthony Towns, that's not good enough. OG Anunoby, I'm paying you $39 million in game 1 of an Eastern Conference final. Pascal Siakam scores 39 points. Mikal Bridges, where the hell are you? Where are you? I don't care about points for you, but are you going to guard? We just guard starting game 3 and game 4. Jalen Brunson, I saw you play defense game 5, but 1 through 4, you're just like, go ahead, ole. No. And shit. And you know what? Changes have to start. Changes have to go there. One more thing, and I promise I'm done. I know I say it all the time. I wish I had a video. I saw a video, and if you guys want to go back and watch the video of after the Indiana Pacers beat Milwaukee, Greek Freak basically was in every one of their faces. That's what I want. That's what I want. He was in Halliburton's father's face. That's what I want. And I don't care how I got to get him. That's what I want. Because that's what this organization needs. F everybody. F everybody. There's no friendships. Go win a championship. You had the best starting lineup in basketball. We didn't use our bench. Role players, a bunch of role players beat you 4 in 6 games in a series after a 20-point lead in game 1. I stand behind firing him. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Nothing against him. You did a great job for us, getting us where we are. But that's where you're going to go. He can't take us further. And I don't want to stay where we are. I want to win a championship. So I stand behind him. I'm done.
I think Kenny's muted. Yeah, very well said, Kurt. Like I said, we're all friends at the end of the day, but when it comes to our teams, we're all in, man. We don't care how we win, said or done. We got to get the job done if we want to win championships. Nobody's ever won anything being the nice guys. So
exactly. But I'm not sure, but I'm dead serious about we are doing that next August, and you guys are all invited.
There you go. I'm down.
Yeah,
1 year, you guys got
Kurt,
1 year to work on.
Carson, could I just say one quick thing? Kurt, I'm shocked based on the mantra you just presented to us, and I don't disagree with a lot of what you said. I'm shocked that you never became a baseball fan of a team, because the 1986 Mets were that type of team. They didn't give a crap about anybody. They were walking over their mothers to win a championship. So at the point when they were doing that, you were probably 10, 11 years old, 12 years old.
12.
I'm shocked that
I know
12 years old. I'm shocked that wouldn't have been the team that you would have said, you know what? That's the team I'm rooting
let me ask
for.
You something. Who's the best athlete of all time? Paul.
We had that discussion a few weeks ago.
What did you say? Best player, one of the best.
Jordan.
Jordan, right?
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
He didn't give a shit who was in front of him.
Yep.
He actually said something like, if my mother's in front of me, I'm running to my mother to score 40 on her. That's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at the bad boys. Prime example,
Exactly.
89-90. When Jordan beat them, they didn't shake their hands. They walked right off the court.
And you know what? I love it. Why am I shaking his hand? He wants what I want. You know what? Nope. I loved watching that 30 for 30 for the bad boy. You know what?
Yeah, it was good.
Because think about it, Paul. We became basically them. Right? We kind of became. We were the next team.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were the next team like them.
Yep.
So I love it.
Yep. Exactly.
For sure. Well, Kenny's having technical difficulties. You want to get to the next segment, guys? Paul, do you have the agenda in front of you? I don't know what was up next. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So, we're going to talk Stanley Cup playoffs, and of course, it's a repeat of the Edmonton Oilers from Canada and the Florida Panthers, who last year won the Stanley Cup for the first time. So it's a rematch. They're meeting again, and it should be actually a really, really great series. Okay, of course, the Oilers led by Connor McDavid, probably the best player in the NHL. So the first question is, having the rematch between the two teams that faced each other last year, is that good for hockey? Is it good for ratings? What do you think, Carson?
I mean, it would be nice to get, two other teams in the mix of it. But again, this is kind of similar to how the Final Four matched up. The first time in a while where all 4 number 1 seeds faced off. That's how it should be. Give me the 2 best hockey teams in the NHL and go for it all to win a Stanley Cup. I think it's great for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it more competitive. I don't really have a say in this because I don't really care who wins. I mean, the Panthers, they won last year, and then you got the Canadian side, USA factor. You want to keep the cup in the US. You want Canada to have it. So maybe a little bit more bias towards Florida. But, I think it's good for hockey. If this goes game 6 or game 7, you want to see competitive hockey in the Stanley Cup and not just blowouts. And if you're looking at the odds right now, it's pretty much a dead even pick 'em right now, 50-50 shot. So I like it. I think it's good for hockey.
Okay. Kurt, how do you feel about it?
I like it too. I think they're the two best teams. I've always liked the fact of when it's, especially last year when 7 games, right? Like I always like when it's like all right, let's see him again. I know like people get bored at that, like, okay, it's Cleveland versus Golden State in basketball for a couple times, but I like it. Like, especially if they're the two best teams. Like, listen, I don't think NBA we're getting the two best teams, but back to back, you know what? If you're going to say 2 years in a row, how can you argue that these aren't the two best teams? So I like it.
Good. Kenny, you feel the same way? Kenny there?
He's still muted.
He's muted.
His mic.
All right.
Done with his mic.
Yeah. Okay. I'll jump in and say I agree with you guys. I think it's fantastic. And here, while I was doing some research on the question, here's an interesting tidbit. In 1983, the same Oilers played the Islanders. They lost to the Islanders in that stretch where the Islanders won 4 straight Stanley Cups. The following year, the Oilers played the Islanders, and Wayne Gretzky won his first Stanley Cup at that point. In 2008, Sidney Crosby, of course, one of the great players of all time, they played your Detroit Red Wings, Carson, and they lost. And that was his first time in the finals. The following year, the same 2 teams played, and he wound up winning the second time the Stanley Cup. So here we are, Connor McDavid, the second time now facing the Florida Panthers. Lost the first year. Who knows? Maybe this year they'll turn it around and he'll win his first Stanley Cup.
Nice.
So in terms of the advantage, obviously the Panthers have won last year. They were up 3-0, and Edmonton came back, tied it up, and then Florida won 2-1 in the 7th and final game. So, Carson, who do you think has the advantage this year?
I'm going to say the Oilers, only because I feel like they have more of that camaraderie and the pressure is on to bring the cup back to Canada. And they do have the best player in the world on the ice with McDavid. So, I could see it go either way. I could see the Panthers repeat, but I think just revenge tour is coming for the Oilers. And I think that's what's going to win them the cup.
Kurt, how do you feel?
I agree. I think the motivation, I know that when they showed McDavid, they showed the like him just sitting at the locker after game 7 last year. Again, I think it's good. Well, we'll get into our prediction, but I think the advantage, the motivation, I'm going to go with Edmonton. And again, listen, how many cups have they won? I mean, it's been a while, and so I think advantage, because of the motivation and the fact that they lost to that team. They've been there, they've done that, and again, not that, Florida's not going to try to repeat, and that's not motivation. But when you have to sit through that and you have to go through a whole year of that, and now you get back another shot and it's that team, I'm going to say a little more advantage Edmonton for that.
Am I back?
You're back.
Yeah.
Update.
Hey,
Panthers
Kenny.
leading 2-1.
So,
all right, I've been in the chat. I've been just behind the scenes. I've been trying to fix my audio here. I got it fixed though.
Luckily, Kenny's not interviewing.
Great.
Paul, luckily, Kenny's not interviewing for the Knick job via Zoom.
all right.
I was trying to
I'll
answer
tell
the
you,
first
I'll put
question. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you guys off. I was trying to answer the first question. And I like the series because last year it went 7, but it was a 3-0, and we almost had the miracle comeback by the Oilers. So I'm okay with this rematch. And did you guys do predictions? Is that what you guys did?
Okay.
No.
gotten into it yet. We were just talking about who got the better advantage right now. I'll tell you guys, I watched the finals, and when the Rangers played last year against the Panthers, they are a tough team. But that being said, like Carson was saying, Canada hasn't had a Stanley Cup winner, and I think we were saying about 30 years. Maybe Graham knows that better than me. Anyway, it's going to be a very, very close series. They have the motivation, but Florida has the cup, and maybe their motivation is to be a dynasty and repeat. How do you feel, Kenny? Do you think which team has the bigger advantage, do you think?
I actually think the Oilers have the bigger advantage, and that's because they almost beat Bobrovsky last year, a great goalie, so they might be on to what his strengths and weaknesses now because they played him in a 7-game series last year. Edmonton brings a big offense, and I know they're down 2-1 right now, but don't be surprised if this is like a 5-4 game in Edmonton's advantage tonight when it's all said and done. So I'm going to go Edmonton with a slight advantage because of their offensive firepower.
Okay. Do you want to take over? Do you want me to just continue?
Why don't you continue, just in case I lose? There's only a couple more questions, and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
we'll probably wrap it up.
Carson, what do you think? Who wins?
I'm going to say Oilers in 6.
Kurt?
I think it's going to be reversed from next year. I'm going to go last year. I'm going to go Oilers in 7.
I'm going to agree with Kurt. I think it's going to be Oilers in 7, and Whoa Canada is going to become Oh Canada, and they're going to finally win their first Stanley Cup in how many years? Okay. And MVP, Kenny had set up a good question. Connor McDavid, I believe,
Oilers
was
in 7. Oh, you forgot me.
Oh,
you forgot my prediction.
Sorry,
That's
Kenny.
right.
I apologize.
No worries.
I
I
apologize.
haven't been here, so that's all good.
That's all right.
Oilers in 2, and Glenn's going Oilers in 7. You're good. They're going Oilers in 7.
Okay. Nice. So MVP, of course, Connor McDavid is the odds-on favorite. The Panthers goaltender Serge Bobrovsky is maybe arguably the best goalie in the NHL. Those would be would one of those win, or would you take the field to win the MVP? Carson?
Oh man. Yeah, I think it's going to be McDavid. Especially last year they lost the cup and he did win the Conn Smythe Award. So, I think they get it done both ways as McDavid, and they get the cup.
Okay, Kurt.
Yeah, I'm with him. I'm going to go McDavid again. I think that I'll never say that I look back at the Golden State Warriors when they won that one year, and what's his name won it, Iguodala, right? But like usually, like in these, you get the like in the finals, it's like they push for the star. Especially, I could see him winning, a game in overtime with a goal in overtime to win it. I'm going to take McDavid too.
Okay, Kenny, who do you feel?
Graham's selling me on Leon Draisaitl. He scored a minute into the game today. I'm going to go field. But if Edmonton wins, I'm going to cheat like Kurt does sometimes. If Edmonton wins, it's the field because I don't think it's going to be McDavid. But if Florida wins, it's going to be Bobrovsky. So I'm going to put a couple little sneaky wagers in there. So
Okay.
I'll do my best.
I'll go with I'll go with Connor McDavid if the Oilers win as well, and I think a very good series. All right, Kenny, that was the Stanley Cup.
All right, I'm going to do a rapid fire segment with you guys. We got about 5 minutes left, and you still got me right? Audio.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're good.
We haven't done college football in a little while, so got a college football question for you. So I'm going to do this rapid fire style and give each of you guys a conference. I got the ACC up there. I'll take the ACC since I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. My question to you in the audience is, I want a new team from the power conferences, and then we'll do non-power 5 to wrap it up. I want a new team that's going to make the playoffs this year in the respected conferences. So no SMU, no Clemson in the ACC. I'm looking at a couple teams. It's got to be Miami with Carson Beck, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. I just think Miami can be there. Syracuse could be a dark horse. I know Notre Dame ain't in the ACC. That must have been a basketball Hall of Champions there. Syracuse could be a sleeper. We got Belichick with North Carolina, but when all's said and done, I think Miami will be in the playoffs this year. Our next one we got, I think it's Big Ten, so let's get Carson up there. Yes, so Carson, we had a bunch of teams that make the playoffs last year in your Big Ten. Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Penn State. They were all in the playoffs last year, Carson. Who do you think can make it this year that wasn't in it last year in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the right side of the list. You're probably looking at a West Coast team like Washington. They got to the national championship game a couple of years ago. UCLA and USC just because of their pedigree. I think if you want to stay real to the Big Ten original, probably Wisconsin. I think it's their time. Boom or bust for Luke Fickell. He's got to make a playoff berth at some point. So especially with the expansion going on, I would say Wisconsin's a team to watch out for.
Nice. I think I'm going to go to Paul next. I'm going to give him the Big 12. So there was only one team last year in the Big 12, Paul, and that was our Giants. Yeah. Cam Scadaboo's alma mater, Arizona State, made the playoffs last year, Paul. So who do you think can make it this year in place of Arizona State?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple of teams I was thinking of. TCU obviously made it a few years ago. Obviously got blown out, but that's beside the point. But I'm going to go with Utah. I think they've had a pretty good team. I mean, their coach is, in my opinion, one of the best coaches in college football. So let's pick Utah.
Mark's going North Carolina for ACC. Glenn's taking Miami. North Carolina will be on the improve, need another year. Mark's taking Michigan. He's a big Michigan fan. Glenn's going USC or Wisconsin in the Big Ten. Kurt, SEC, boy. Tennessee, Georgia. Where are they? Texas. Can't pick them, Kurt. Who are you going with?
I'm gonna answer it two ways. One, I am gonna be a homer on this one, and I'll tell you why. And I'm gonna say Auburn. I just actually read an article today where Hugh Freeze sat down and he basically said, like, I know I'm under pressure. I know what reality is. They didn't hire him to be, 5-6, 6-5, 7-4 in conferences. The last 3 years he's had top 10, top probably 5 or 6 recruiting classes every year. His transfer portal has been, off the charts. I think it was number 3 this year in the transfer portal. I mean, he's got all the talent. You look at him now. I know he's got Jackson Arnold coming from Oklahoma, but he's got Deuce Knight. He stole him from Paul, right? Notre Dame.
Yeah.
This kid's a stud, man. And, he's got 2 NFL wide receivers. They're going to have defensive guys all over the field. The time is now for them. This year, they got Georgia at home. They got Alabama at home. And the way it is, it's not like it used to be where it's like, okay, now with the playoff, you have to, it's so hard to win the SEC West and get in, like you have one loss and you're not going to get, it's not like that now. Like with the way the SEC is, you have 2 losses, maybe 3 losses, but if you have big wins, you're going to have a shot. So I'm going to say Auburn. They're probably a top 3 talent in the conference. We're going to see if Mr. Freeze can get them into the playoffs. So I'm going to go with them. And my second one, Kenny, is if I can't say them, I am going to say South Carolina.
Yeah, with the court.
I like how they play. They're, I like how they play. They got the kid Sellers. They're a tough physical team. So I'll say them if I don't want my homer pick. But I'm bullish on Auburn this year. I really he has to, because he's on the chopping block too. The boosters, they're not going to accept 7-4, not getting into the playoffs. That's not what they're paying him over there to do.
I like Glenn's Big 12 pick, TCU. He likes Florida. Mark, Texas was in the playoff last year, so I'll give you another chance. But nobody mentioned LSU. LSU could be a sneaky team this year.
They were on my list,
receivers were taken in the
actually.
draft. That could be a team to watch. And then real quick, guys, put us back on the screen. Non-power team, guys, I put their rankings down. Carson, Boise State's ranked 24, Tulane 44, James Madison 50, Navy 57, South Florida 59, and UNLV 60. You want to pick any of those teams that make the playoff? Or, well, you can't take Boise State because they were in it. You want to take one of those 5 or somebody else?
Yeah, I'll go with Tulane, the Green Wave. I can see them make a random hot start at the end of the year and make the final spot at the at-large. So, yeah, I'll say Tulane.
Yeah, I'll give this one to each of you guys to wrap it up. Paul?
Since Carson picked Tulane, I'll go with UNLV. They had a pretty good year last year as well, so hopefully they'll have a second consecutive year.
Kurt, who's going to be the underdog this year?
I'm going to take Tulane with Carson. They've been winning the past couple years, but I'm going to tell you, team, watch out for James Madison. That team what did they just come into the D1? Was it last year or 2 years ago? It was like they're only like in their second or third year. And you know what? Like they've been playing with big boys, some non-conference schedules. Don't be shocked there. I mean, I'll take Tulane. I think they're the safer pick, but I mean, James Madison, that's a good program, man. They've come right into D1 and said, like, we're here. So those are the two. But I'll say Tulane.
I like your picks. I'm gonna do a pick because I want to see this happen. I would love to see an armed forces college get in. Navy. Love to see Navy get in. Right here in my neck of the woods, Annapolis, Maryland, half hour away. I would love to see that atmosphere if they can make
Kenny, do they have to go undefeated to get in?
They got to win their conference. They got to win the AAC.
They play Notre Dame, Paul?
They should.
I believe so. I have to double check.
So if they win their conference, Kenny, but lose to Notre Dame, not embarrassing enough, can they get in?
Yes.
But they can't get beat like 55.
No.
They have to be somewhat competitive to Notre Dame. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, last year they were undefeated and they met at MetLife Stadium and Notre Dame just blitzed them like 55-10 or, I mean, it was over at halftime. But
all right, fellas, it's that time for final thoughts. Kurt, you want to lead off?
Yeah, I'll lead off. Listen, again, just whirlwind of days as a Knicks fan. It's over with, but you know what? As a fan, it's got to stick with you. It's just. You can't be mad. You can't be angry. It's an opportunity that we wasted. Why? I firmly believe we were the best team out of the last 4 standing. And I know people could say OKC, but again, give me player by player. I'm taking more Knicks than I am OKC Thunder. So it hurts, but you know what? Hey, consequences got to come. And you know what? We're not good enough. We're not good enough. So you know what, Leon Rose? Go make us good enough, because our goal next year, let's go win an NBA title. So if people got to go, people got to go. They had their opportunity. Other than that, I love you guys, but you're never getting good luck from me besides to your team. So besides that, that's all I got to say. Carson Shear.
Yeah, great show as always, boys. Love talking sports with you all. Shout out to everybody that watches in the chat. I don't know if you guys saw us, but I am rocking the shirt tonight. So, Great year as always, guys. I think we're going to take some time off for the summer, but we'll be back for football less than 100 days away from kickoff. So looking forward to that. And have a good rest of your night, everybody.
Mr. Rosen.
Great show, guys. Great show. Thank you, Graham, for all your wonderful support week in and week out.
Yes,
we appreciate you very much.
Graham.
And thank you to everybody that tuned in, and we really, really appreciate you guys listening to us. As Carson said, we'll take a little bit of time and be back after the holiday in July, and look forward to another couple of weeks, and then training camps begin, and that's our vibe. So looking
Kenny,
forward
I just
to
want
it.
to show. I want to give this to you, Kenny. A little breaking news, but I'll send you the article. But I just saw this. Monday night, less than 24 hours before Tom Thibodeau was fired and 48 hours after being eliminated, the Knicks were partying at some room in Chelsea. Kenny, so I don't know how you feel about that, but
that's a joke.
Your final thoughts.
My final thoughts, I'm not going to mention that. It is what it is. Audience, great as always. My 3 co-hosts, great as always. Check out Carson. He's going to be streaming in about 30 seconds over on Kick and YouTube over there at Ticket Time. Carson, great job. And Carson Shear Show, check that out as well. Going to take a little time off, but we will be back. We had the little teaser college football question at the end. Our first show will be our college football preview, and we got about a month to prepare for that, so it will be a good show, guys. Come check us out. Shows will go on. We'll have some stuff going on in the meantime, so we're not totally
Kenny, real quick. You talk about a month. I'm giving you a job, Kenny.
Go ahead.
In 1 month, we're going to be down the shore, correct?
Less than a month, yeah.
Okay, less than a month. There's a stuffed animal in one of the piers in Wildwood. It's like the seagull. You know the seagull?
Yeah.
But it has the football in its mouth and the thing.
Okay.
Me and Jen were like 0 for 8. Talk with Carson.
You gotta invite Carson down.
We gotta get this done.
Kenny's got homework. Kenny's never won in the claw machine in his life. I'm waiting to get together with Carson.
Let's get tips. We gotta get
Go
this
watch
done.
Carson Claus.
By the way,
Carson Claus.
We were 0 for 8, and then I saw somebody, one of Jen's friends' son. He's about 12 years old. He had 2 of them. So
probably subscribe to Carson Claus. Kurt needs to subscribe to your channel, Carson, and watch.
We got to get this done because I want one for the sports room. So
there you go.
You guys have a good night, everybody. We'll see everybody soon.